So I want to have you welcome Noelle and Dan.
We're here to talk about Yahoo, but we're also here to talk about giving people hope. If you're unemployed or underemployed, we've been putting together information and ideas and presenting this to other groups as well. So I want you to know it's our pleasure to be here, and we hope that when you leave here today, you'll have some more tools, more ideas, and most importantly, more hope. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Yahoo News, just a little bit, kind of put away some of the myths that are out there about what's happening with Yahoo. We're going to talk about resume tips, because Dan and I have been doing this for a long time. And first of all, I just want to say it's really great to have Dan here. Dan is one of the best sourcers in the nation, and he goes around the United States talking about how to find candidates, how to use internet tools. It took us 5 years to get him here at Yahoo, and I'm really honored to be with him here today. He's really great at what he does, and finding candidates is very similar tools you can use to find jobs as well. So we're going to talk about resume tips. It's everything. Resume styles, how to make yourself more marketable, so that if a company gets 10,000 resumes a month, and let's say that there are several hundred candidates for the same role, yours is going to stand out. We're going to talk about that because it's everything. It's marketing hooks, because there's only one good thing for that resume, and that's to get you the first chance at that interview. It's only one thing that's good for us, to make it a marketing brochure on you so that you get that advantage. And we're going to talk about job hunting tips and networking. Yeah, here's the guru right here on that. Some job search engines, LinkedIn. I mean, some people have used LinkedIn, but we take it to a whole new level. We use that every day. And also, if you're new to an area and you want more experience, or let's just say you want to make some money in between jobs, we have some websites we're going to talk about. We call them bridge jobs, just to get you to the next place, like guru.com and Elance. Okay, so here's the news, that Yahoo's building up for the recovery. People think, oh, you guys aren't hiring. We have over 500 openings right now. Most of them right here in Sunnyvale, in Santa Clara. Well, Sunnyvale's our headquarters. There are also some Southern California, but the majority of the positions are right here. And people say, well, where? All across Yahoo. A lot of engineering, of course. That's the bulk of what we do, but there's a lot of other areas as well. We also have contract jobs. We work through Workforce Logic. It used to be called ABE. It's part of Nelson Staffing. Anyway, they're called Workforce Logic. I'm not sure why. Anyway, but they have a contractor there. Her name is Jen Lynn. And this is, you'll have this address. But if you want a contract job, she said, tell them to email their resume to me. You see, and then what she'll do is, it's just a bridge. If you want a contract job, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you that a lot of contract jobs get converted. I did that. I got converted to a direct job. It's cheaper for Yahoo to have you as a direct employee than a contractor. So, okay, so again, if you don't capture that right now, it's J-Lin, J-L-I-E-N at yahoo-inc.com.
Everyone can go to careers.yahoo.com to apply directly to Yahoo as well. And just one other point on the Workforce Logic. Sometimes a lot of us are looking just for like that regular full-time job right away. But also just realize sometimes contracting is also another way in.
And the careers place will let you actually match your resume to our current openings, which makes it easy to just say, here's the ones. And part of our policy is that every resume has to be reviewed, and which is why we have so many recruiters working for us. Good question. This question is, if I set my resume to Workforce Logic, does that mean I'm still in the pool for careers.yahoo.com? No, they're separate. They're separate. But that's why we have our own on-site. We have to separate those. So if you apply to Workforce Logic, those are only for contract jobs. So you would need to do both. If you're open for a direct position, then you would go to careers.yahoo.com. Okay. Usually Workforce Logic has all these agencies they use out there. Okay? They're what they call vendor neutral contractor. And those people submit their candidates to Workforce Logic, and then you're part of that agency. So that if you decide to go direct, there's a fee involved after so many days in prorate. So because you're going direct, you are not going through another agency, you have an advantage. But I wouldn't worry about that anyway. If you come and work and you're a contractor and they want to convert you, they're going to convert you. Don't worry about that, okay? That's how a lot of people come on. It's like, I'm working on a search, they'll say, yeah, we have an internal candidate who's a contractor. I already know there's a 99% chance that person's going to get the job. And getting a contract is often easier. There's less interview hassle. I mean, you know, there's just in general, it's an easy way to go. I asked them yesterday, and they said, well, you can't give the number out. I can tell you that there's over 75 contract jobs. Okay, I can't give you the exact number, but there's a lot of contract jobs, and they're opening all the time. And the same on the direct side too, that over 500 and there's more coming. We see a recovery coming and we want to get ahead of it, so. Resume tips. You want to talk about resume tips?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay, so we're both passionate about this. So here's a couple of things, is that here's just some standard stuff. And you're gonna have up there on your site more in-depth information, but basically, resume styles change. People go, what? They do. You know, people will say, oh, I have a one-page resume because, you know, I talked to my neighbor and, you know, he's retired now, but he told me, don't listen to that. You gotta remember that the resume styles come and go, but it really does make your resume stand out. If you make your resume, here's a couple of pointers. One, chronological resumes are the way to go. If functional resumes, Dan, jump in.
Please, chronological resumes are definitely preferred.
And you say, so what's the difference between a functional resume and a chronological? Maybe you're thinking about that. A chronological resume is one that says, okay, I spent the last 7 years here at Yahoo, and before that I worked for Encore Staffing, and I go through all my career, right? A functional resume could say, oh, here's what I know about recruiting. Here's what I know about, here's a paragraph about my sourcing, you know, bullet items. People get very suspicious about a functional resume. They think you're hiding something. The only time you would use a functional resume is if you're a new college grad, perhaps, or you're doing a career change. Even then, I have doubts about that. So, chronological resume is the way to go. You can do a little bit of functional stuff. No one's going to read that. They want to read your experience, and they want to see it in chronological order. That's just the reality. And that is not almost universal. You talk about functional and recruiters cringe, and hiring managers don't want to see it. Outline resumes. Nobody wants to read anymore, paragraphs. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And each one of those lines in your experience, the first thing that recruiters go to read is your experience. The eyes just go right there. And when they say you have like, you know, you get 2 minutes, you know, to make your point, more like 30 seconds. Most of them I know are speed readers. So what you want to do is you want to have your first is experience is where you want to have it. And don't bother with a cover letter. Nobody reads them. And most applicant tracking systems.
Being truthful here, we're really being truthful. It really is. This is.
They don't read them.
Again, this is from our experiences and
There's
all.
no time, and there's no place to really attach them to the systems, and nobody reads them. That's just the way it is. Effective resumes. This is the whole key. Are based on accomplishments and your biggest impact that you made, the things you're most proud about. And if you can, not a laundry list, like the old days, here are my duties, here are my responsibilities, that doesn't really cut it. And so the resumes that really work, go back to your performance reviews and look at the things you're most proud about. And think about this, when I'm doing a resume, I'm thinking about what problems are they going to want to be solving by hiring me for this job. Those are the things I want to stick in my resume experience, because hiring is about solving problems. If they can see that you have solved the problems that they have right now for the role that they're trying to fill, you got them.
Be the solution.
Be the solution.
Be the solution. If you could.
A one-page resume, we talked about that. Those are for new college grads. The typical is 2 to 3 pages. I talked about brevity, but 2 to 3 pages. Also, I've been working since 1975, and I only go back 12 years on my resume. And the reason I do that is because I don't want anybody making assumptions about how expensive I might be based on the number of years I've worked.
So on your main header for, say, a company, if you've been there a number of years, do you list the full number of years you were there? And
Yes. Yeah, then you can show the different titles that you had. So we can say I worked at Sun Microsystems from 1993 to 2008 or 2009, and then you can show the different titles that you had and how long you were in each one of those jobs.
So you can't just shorten that main one down to the 12 years, huh? You don't feel that's appropriate?
Well, because when they go to do a background check, they're going to say, we have listed here that you worked at Sun for 12 years. If you worked there for 20, you just killed the integrity part of it and you may be out of a job. So you can't lie.